world has seen. The New York Knicks and Spurs met in the finals in 1999. That man wasn't even born then. Pick it up 2 minutes to play in the first. Jay, keep a close eye on Jalen Brunson here. We will see Harrison Barnes come down on the leg, and this looked scary.
Yeah, how about the check right there by Landry Shamet falling right into the right outside knee of Jalen Brunson, which every Knicks fan was afraid of could be the story that it always follows the Knicks.
Fans were dialing 911 in New York over that injury.
Spurs up 8 after 1, but Brunson would return. And then he's going to get injured again. Look at this, Allen. As he goes down, Luke Cornett, it turns out, is going to step on the ankle here.
The ankle turns and then gets stepped on. He's in a lot of pain once again, limping again, and more 911 calls out of 212 area code in New York.
Now we're late in the half, and it's Champagnie who had a good night knocking down threes. He had 16. Spurs by 4. Let's go to the third. The Spurs have opened a 12-point lead. And Dylan Harper working power on Mikal Bridges.
How great was he, Jay, in the first half?
He is not a rookie. I mean, he's playing like a guy who's a fourth-year guy.
He had 16. Spurs by 14. But these Knicks.
Let's go, Cat!
Blow by.
Karl Anthony Towns with the quickness getting to the hole. And then we'll see Karl Anthony Towns, the offensive rebound, Allen, in the putback.
People don't talk enough about his rebound ability. He was number 2 in the league in rebounding and a double-double machine.
He had 18 and 12 in this game. And then Jalen Brunson from the mid-range ties it at 71. So the next game from 14 down. Then it's Wembanyama.
Look. What? Crossover. Jay, you crossed him over, Jay.
With the left.
26 and 12 for Wembanyama. And the Spurs a 3-point lead. Final seconds of the third.
Swing.
Watch the Knicks ball movement.
Off the glass.
Deuce McBride.
Off the glass.
Knicks got 28 off their bench. It's tied at 76.
Jordan Shrug.
Still tied midway through the fourth. Jalen Brunson then just takes over the game. Jay, he had 13 points in the fourth quarter.
You know, I thought the San Antonio Spurs had nobody that could get targeted defensively. Champagnie was being targeted every possession by Jalen Brunson.
How about Brunson last night, Allen? Spectacular in that fourth. Look at this.
The Brunson burner, he makes all kinds of shots, but when it's winning time, it's Jalen Brunson time.
Knicks by 8, but Wembanyama not giving up. Final 5 minutes. That's a 3. It's a 5-point game. 3.5 minutes to go. Spurs are down by 4. Wembanyama.
What defense?
Foul on Towns plus the free throw. It's a 1-point game. 2 minutes to go in the fourth. The Spurs are up by 1. Anunoby for the lead.
Watch Brunson.
What?
Oh!
That might be the play of the game. Jalen Brunson.
Corner 3.
Offensive tip back, run to the corner and knock down the 3. How about the effort from Brunson there?
The smallest guy on the floor makes the biggest play to keep that ball alive, to get a second possession in front of the Spurs bench. Mike Breen said bang.
33rd Street said bang, and maybe a few choice other words. Knicks by 2. 1 minute to go in the fourth. Knicks by 4, and they put it away. Turnover. Take some time off the clock.
Right.
And then if you're looking for the dagger.
By the way, the degree of difficulty, 20 out of 10.
30 points for Jalen Brunson on the night. As I mentioned, 13 of those in the fourth. And the Knicks come back to steal Game 1 on the road in San Antonio, 105-95. So many storylines, but it begins with Brunson. Over the last 3 postseasons, he is averaging an absurd 9.1 points per game in the fourth quarters. That is the most in the NBA. And he was even a lead on the defensive end, which is supposed to be his weakness. He held the Spurs to 1 of 14 shooting as the primary defender in Game 1. Here was Brunson when it was done on how they got it done.
Just find a way. Obviously, throughout the game, wasn't my best. But through thick and thin, I trust my work, I trust everything I do. And I stay confident in those moments.
He's a gamer, man. He you know, in the biggest moments, you know, he shows up. And that's what MVPs are supposed to do. We put the ball in his hands. We said we were going to live and die with him. And he went and he got it done for us. And that's happened time after time after time.
He's an elite player, and we got the chance that we're going to have many more chances. It's a first to 4 series, so we're going to have time to work on it.
Okay, they've got time to work on it, and we've got time to dive deep into it. We are going long this morning, shortened breaks, all the rest of it. So if you're looking for complete coverage of Game 1, you've come to the right place. Wendy, you were there. What's your number one? When that clock hit 0 last night, what was the first thought in your mind?
I didn't think the Knicks stole it. I think the Knicks took it. And I think if you look at the way they played in the second half, they played right to a very well-designed game plan. They didn't do any trick defense or trick coverage on Victor Wembanyama. They did something crazy. They put their center on him. And Victor Wembanyama could not get past Karl Towns. Karl Towns had one of the best defensive performances of his life. He was repeatedly able to stay in front of Victor Wembanyama. Josh Hart is out there chasing down all kinds of loose balls, and it set the situation up to hand the game to Captain Clutch. How many times have we seen this? We see it in November. We see it in February. Why wouldn't we see it in June? They hand it to Captain Clutch. He hunted mismatches. He got into his dribbling package. He's getting guys off balance. He's crossing over. He's changing up, his drive angles and creating lanes, and just did what Jalen Brunson does. And it was a very vintage New York Knicks win. It just happens to have very high stakes.
As you're watching these highlights, you're thinking to yourself, boy, that's good defense, isn't it? And it is. It's good defense on Brunson. The degree of difficulties of the shots that he was making last night, off the charts. Vincenzo, number one takeaway from the Knicks winning game one.
Greeny, there was a time, maybe a couple of weeks ago, where I told you, and I can hear myself right now talking, but I told you guys that Karl-Anthony Towns was the most important player in the Eastern Conference, that he was going to be the guy that makes the difference in whether the Knicks make the NBA Finals. Now he's the most important player in this series because he can guard, if he can guard Victor Wembanyama straight up, then that means the Knicks defense isn't compromised. That means that the San Antonio Spurs team that shot a whopping 19% from three after halftime is going to have an even tougher time generating offense. What you saw late in game one, to me, was a team in New York that knew exactly where it wanted to go in the last 5 minutes, and a team in the Spurs that is still trying to figure it out. So much of what San Antonio does is generated from their defense and their athleticism, and they almost overwhelmed the Knicks. But what happens when that athleticism is overwhelmed by smarts? What happens when that athleticism is overwhelmed by a team that recognizes the moment and recognizes we have an opportunity in front of us? So I do think they stole game one, with all due respect to my good friend Brian, but they stole it in a different way. It felt very comfortable for them. It did not feel like a script that they could not write, that they have not written throughout the course of this 12-game playoff winning streak. It was just impressive, and I would say this, they can steal game two, too.
Look, I think Brunson closed out the game, but Brunson can never close out the game if Cat doesn't get them back in the game when they were down 14. Offensive rebounds, attacking off the dribble Victor Wembanyama. And I think they've recognized something. I think it's something that we should talk about. It doesn't mean that you can't be the face of the league because you're so talented and everybody sees your ceiling. But I think the Knicks have recognized that I'm not sure Victor Wembanyama has a post-up game. A lot of his game is on the perimeter.
Yeah. And
Cat has great feet and can move and slide and can guard him on the perimeter and can check him with that physicality. And if you're calling 20-plus points and 16 rebounds an off night for Victor Wembanyama,
yeah,
sure, but ultimately it was an off night for him.
He didn't dominate the game, is what you're saying.
And that was
exactly
because
right.
of Karl-Anthony Towns, both offensively and defensively, Alan.
And I agree, but there was a moment late in that game where Victor Wembanyama said, I'm winning this game. And part of a 9-0 run, he just started scoring. He got a 3, he got an N1. He was saying, I'm winning this game right now. After the Knicks made their push, he pushed back. So he had his opportunity. But what happens late in these games, this is where the Knicks, their grit, their competitive will has been something that's been on display throughout this run. And what they think is, and what they were thinking in this game, Landry Shamet said this to us after the game, is that we just keep it close, because we've got the best closer in the game. And as many people have said, as much as you want to talk about Jalen Brunson, yeah, everybody's better than Jalen Brunson until it's time to be better than Jalen Brunson. And he's the guy that makes all the big buckets when it matters. So even though Wembanyama, in his home floor, was saying, all right, I'm going to win this game now, this is the finish, he couldn't out-finish Jalen Brunson, who made every big shot. And that was the decider in this game.
I think it was, frankly, the Knicks' best performance of the playoffs this season. Yeah, I think it was their best performance. And, Vincenzo said something about, being comfortable. If you listen to Karl-Anthony Towns after the game, like, he gave a shout-out to his mother. Shout-out to his mother who lost her during COVID.
Yeah.
But he talked a lot about how comfortable he felt. That's game one of the NBA Finals. Karl-Anthony Towns is talking there, relaxed, in San Antonio after the game, saying, I felt comfortable in this really big moment because they have been in moments like this before.
While we're on the subject.